What's up, guys? Welcome to TFGoose Gaming. I'm TFGoose here with Vendetta, and this is part 6 of our tourism gambling Let's Play. And this one, pretty sure we're just going to call this one the finale here, guys, on this, because, my goodness, I just don't know what else we can really do with these cities. I think you feel the same way, man.
Yeah, my city is a little stacked. I mean, there's not much more for me to do. I have a successful, tourism city. I'm running events. I mean, it's just, you can go on autopilot from here.
Yeah, I mean, you can always do try to keep bumping up population, which I know some of you guys are big on that. I mean, some of the comments and stuff have talked about having hundreds and hundreds of thousands of population, just going completely bananas and seeing how big and crazy you can get your city before it just blows up. But I don't know. To me, and I think as me definitely, and I think even to Vendetta here, we just don't really see that as like an end goal. Like, the biggest thing we like to do is to put together a city and see if we can get it kind of humming along and get it to the point where it's very profitable. It's doing what it was designed to do, and you got a reasonable happiness rating, and things are just kind of cooking. And if once we get there and you've proved the point, it's like, all right, well, let's try a different tack. Let's build a different city and try this, or create a different goal and kind of start from scratch. That's where we derived our enjoyment from the game, I think. So, but and
yeah, taking a look at my mass transit number there, they're pretty whack-a-mole.
Yeah, no doubt, man. You still have a bunch of the bunching and stuff going on there a little bit. And
Yeah.
you've got, I mean, but you got, look at that, 55,000 riders per day on your streetcars. So, of your, 162,000, population there, a good third of those people in the city are rocking your streetcars, which is pretty sweet. That's not
Yeah.
bad at all.
And 68,000 on trains.
Yeah, and that's crazy. I mean, again, we were talking about it, I think, last video. Wait till we go over to my city and you'll see like the staggeringly low comparatively number of people that are utilizing my mass transit and making me pull my hair out. It's terrible, but because population starts to become an issue. I'm really thinking that a really nice optimal population level is you break even right around 100,000 or so. I mean, I just don't see a real need to go too far beyond that, especially if you're going to have a tourism city where you're deriving most of your profits from just people coming in and then leaving.
Yeah.
You really don't need the population to be statically huge to make decent amounts of money and to have a successful city. And and plus I think it leaves you more room to just kind of redesign a little bit. I'm not a big fan of knocking down huge buildings to redesign the city when a need arises. Maybe I'm just weird that way. I don't know.
Yeah, no, like I'm really happy with the look of this city. I think it looks really cool. Like, I have lots of skyscrapers and lots of those big fancy commercial buildings. I got a little tennis court for people to play tennis.
I know. You even got you can tell it's ritzy when you've got those neon lights that are written in cursive. That's how I know that everything's fine. Right down the street from Motel. That's
Yeah.
great, with their hourly rates probably.
Yeah, rent a room by the hour.
Just in case, hey, it's kind of a crazy thing. It's fine. That's probably more in my city, though, honestly. I'm one of the gambling town. So we'll pop over there in just a couple of minutes and take a look at that one as well. And you'll see how that's progressing. But, I mean, you're still, I mean, you can still see they're still going vertical in a couple areas, trying to continue the build and gaining ever more population.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed, but I actually forgot to upgrade a bunch of those streets there, as you saw me doing a little bit earlier in the video. I clicked on one of them and I realized it was a medium density, and I was like, oh crap, I forgot to upgrade this. So yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of strange. I mean, you can sometimes get caught up in just upgrading, the avenues so that you can do your streetcars, but and that is such an important part, but it is also obviously important to take care of your other streets and stuff too and get those up on high density. And if you reach that stage where you really don't want to grow population anymore, then of course you can always do the D-zone trick there and just D-zone the entire city. Don't be like I did a few times back in earlier videos where I would just D-zone residential and then keep commercial and industrial going, because they just keep going up to the point where now no longer does the population support the commercial and industrial buildings that have popped up on the higher density areas, and then factories start closing, commercial shops start closing. It just sucks. So if you're going to de-zone, do it all at once or don't do it at all. You know, it's simple as that. But at least that seemed to work for me. But now this is interesting too. You're putting in another streetcar station, right?
Yeah, I'm attempting to get my wait times down a little bit. They are still in the green, but I'm just trying to kind of, I mean, at this stage, I really don't have much left to do in the city, so I'm just trying to be Mr. Perfectionist and be like, well, I want 10-minute wait times.
Right. You're like trying to go optimal. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
was noticing that just because I did the exact same thing in my city. Just decided that, you know, my traffic problems were really starting to become an issue, as you'll see when we flip over here in just a few seconds. But, you know, and it was kind of the same scenario. A lot of my mass transit was in green, but I just, you know, I really wanted to get those wait times down, make it to the point where more sims would board those options and make use of that and get some people off the streets, because my God, is that awful. But here I'm adding a little bit more police protection. Throwing
27 crimes per day.
Yeah. Hence why I decided I needed to go ahead and add a couple choppers.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. Yes.
Get
exactly.
down.
Get down. And I'll send those over to you as well. And I think actually a little later I even put down another police station, just a regular police station.
Wow.
To help curb it. But yeah, the crime is starting to become a thing. As you can see there, I have plopped down the Elegant Casino, plopped right there between Sci-Fi and the Sleek Casino. And it's having an impact. Check out my city specialization numbers there. I'm only making like, you know, $1,000 or $2,000 in profit off of those right now because that Elegant Casino is just sucking down the cash. It is unbelievable. It has an insatiable thirst for green. It's crazy, but it is the first day, you know, and I also do have an embezzler in the city, as you can see there, which, you know, that kind of stinks.
That's crazy.
But we need a special project at the university to be able to build the module on the police precinct that can prevent that. The detective wing, I think that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now it actually corrected itself pretty well there. It was sucking down money, and then now it is just starting to correct, which is great. So
wow, look at your profit per hour there, just shot up by like 10K.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing, really. Like, if you watch it throughout the video, it's kind of wild. It seems to go back and forth between around like 17, 18K, and all of a sudden it'll just skyrocket to 32 or 38 even sometimes. It wildly fluctuates, and I think it has to do, you know, with time of day when people are going to the casinos. It has to do with rush hour and traffic and things like that as it processes those things. So it's just, you know, sort of a wild thing. But as long as I was staying well into, you know, the teens at very least, even on the low end, I wasn't that upset. You know, if it would have started dipping down to like $2,000 an hour at the low end, I'd have started getting worried.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't want to operate in the red in a city like this where you have really not much going on in that monthly transaction report. You know, all I'm getting is money from, you know, offering you services to your city. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have any services, or, well, not services, but like any goods, you know, in your stockpile. So if you start to operate in the red, you're going to go bankrupt.
Exactly. Yeah, and it'll take a while with my current stockpile of cash, but the point is you really don't want that to happen at all, ever. I mean, that's just not something you want to deal with. So I just figured I'd, you know, keep an eye on it and make sure. But another reason why I wanted to try to get more traffic stuff under control, improve mass transit even more, because it's, I mean, just look around there. I mean, is it awful? No. But it still bothers me to look around and see red blips in places. You know, as you can see, I'm zooming in on areas like, what's going on here? Why aren't these people moving? You know?
Yeah.
I get anal about that. That's probably because I'm used to playing cities more around the 50 to 60K mark. You know, so I like playing cities where traffic just hums along, where I can hit the roads button and it still looks like it does right now on my screen. Like, there's so little traffic that it's barely even showing up as green.
Yeah. You have about 120,000 too many people.
Yeah, I'm operating slightly out of my comfort zone, about triple the population that I'm usually using. So, but whatever, you know, it's about adventure. It's about trying something new, and that's the beauty of the game. If you get along with something and you didn't like how it turned out, you can just throw another city down and do it a different way next time, you know. So, but what Yeah, I checked it out. There we go, right there. My streetcars, 6,800 people. You, 55,000. Me, 6,000.
I'll
So,
just wait. Just wait till we flip back over.
oh, great. Yeah, I'm sure it'll make me feel a lot better. But yeah, and I was checking here to check out my visiting the tourists. You know, only 1,100. Really, really, really sad and terrible.
I don't think that's accurate because if you go to your gambling tab under the specializations, like I saw you flip to it a little bit ago, it said you had 11,000 tourists in your city.
Yes, there it is right there. It was saying 12,000. I think maybe that's like at once, and the other figure is, for the day.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what's going on. I'm pretty sure that's how it works because that last panel there said I had 12,000 even. So, and here's where I'm deciding to go ahead and just plop another police station because I'm still showing red on crimes committed per day. And I was just like, well, we need to start trying to curb this. And I was convinced that it was, again, the traffic, where my cop cars couldn't get to crimes.
Yeah.
Because of where they were situated in the city. So I wanted to build another station a little bit further away, from where the other one is, and maybe improve the response time so that less criminals got away with what they're doing there. So give me a nice, pretty well upgraded police station there, and hopefully that'll take care of that. You can see my buses like piled up like crazy, or my cop cars piled up like crazy. As soon as it zooms back in, it's kind of wild.
Looks like Detroit up in here.
Right? Seriously. It's crazy. But, this is the stage of the game. Again, look, I'm at 185,000 population. Exactly. Strangely
Yeah.
enough.
On the money.
Yeah. And it's just becoming a thing where my service vehicles can't get to where I need them to go. Places are burning down. I was having to bulldoze some buildings here and there because of that. And that's just never a good thing. And I'm sure that, you guys can light up the comments and tell me all the stuff that I was doing wrong that I could have, made the city more viable and had a much, much, much easier time of it. And that's fine. Those you guys are building 400,000, 500,000 citizen cities and managing to pull it out. Cool. Go for it. That's great. But it's not me. I don't really want to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Right here, I was hosting 2 events simultaneously, which earlier you guys saw me. I think I made about 300K off of the 2 stadiums. And here, I think I went negative on the pro stadium. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And inexplicably, mass transit in this city just completely broke. I didn't really do anything. It was just letting it run. And all of a sudden, people just stopped riding the streetcars, stopped riding the trains.
And that'll break a tourism city in a hot second right there.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely, that'll do the trick. And it stinks if that's what's going on. But yeah, we'll take a look at the numbers. I'm sure you're going to go over them again here in a bit. But that's wild. And that's what's so crazy, too. And this is the thing that was happening before. And one of the reasons that we wanted to avoid playing these types of cities, these specializations, is because there was reports of stuff like this happening where things just inexplicably break, at higher populations. And we're not really sure why that happens.
Yeah, look at that. 4,100 riders. And this one only has 1,300. So I went from like 68,000 people on the train to, 11,000. There it is. Look at that.
Yes, and a 152-minute wait.
What the hell?
Yeah, what's going on there? That's crazy. So yeah, you dropped 50,000, on your riders per day.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a death sentence for a tourism city.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. So,
streetcars have been cut in half. Buses have been cut.
Yeah, and the buses have having a strong wait time too, unfortunately. That's something else I did in my city. I put down another bus station. It's kind of a catch-22 because you see all those buses flying around. You're like, oh my God, look at all those cars on the road. But you have to think, for each one of those buses, that's potentially, 80 cars are, off the street.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good, Go ahead and send, a fleet of 14, 16 buses out, onto the street if you're going to reduce the traffic, to the point where each one of those buses takes off an exponential, number of people off the road. That'd be great. So, well, not exponential. The math people are going to freak out on that one. You know what I meant. I meant a big number, okay? I didn't mean to insult anyone. Sorry. Sorry, everybody. Jeez. No, but you know, it's you're rocking obviously, you know, really close to the same population as me, and you know, I didn't have my mass transit completely bust like this, but some other stuff happened that busts anyway. You know, so we'll see that, you know, when we flip back over for the finale part of the video here in my city. Just I don't know. It seems like there's still some things to work out, obviously. You know, unfortunately.
Yeah, still some bugs to be quelled.
Yeah, but you know, as we said, they'll keep working here and stuff. But you know, in the meantime, you know, I think we've proved the concept here on this city, you know, on this pair of cities that it can be done. But if you want to avoid having just ridiculous problems later on, then you might just want to stop things up a little shorter as far as population's concerned. But you know, if that's your bag to try and keep it going and try and find ways to make the city continue to work as the population continues to explode, then more power to you. But the thing is, for us, it seemed like it hit these levels and it just sort of stayed here because, you know, the city could no longer, it started to not support itself. I mean, you can't tell me that if we keep this going, you know, and crazier populations and more people, you know, crowd onto the streets, that all city services will just stop working, you know, and all your you know, tourists aren't going to be able to make it to your events at all. You know,
Yeah.
people aren't going to get to my casinos, and the well's going to dry up, you know? So it seems to me like it makes more sense to just stop it cold, but then when you stop it, then really the point of continuing to play, you really have to provide your own. You know, you're not really working for growth anymore. You just have to, you know, go with some aesthetics, try and redesign the city a little bit, and just kind of tinker with it. Because ultimately, you've made the point where you can make tons of money and make the city profitable. It's time to move on, typically do another one after that, in my opinion.
Yeah, look at this. My tourists were like in almost 70,000, and now I'm down to 7,500. You know, 14,000 yesterday. 50,000 tourists just disappeared. Awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's unfortunate. And hey, fire, you always get the best fires. Yeah, I mean, seriously, your fires are always just complete blazing infernos. I do love that.
What's hilarious to me is that I even have the fire helicopter, and I don't know about you, but when I buy a fire helicopter, I expect it to put out fires. Kind of a crazy concept, I know.
That's an interesting one. Yeah.
But it just appears to not really work.
Yeah, it'll come over and take really cool pictures of it.
Right.
I think it's actually more of a news chopper. You know? It just comes over and it's like, oh, look at this. That's kind of cool. So, anyway, we'll leave your burning city there for a bit and come back over here and check things out. But as you'll notice, I will point out for those of you guys that do want to build a casino city, if you want sort of like a final string of tips, the gambling houses are awesome. I'll put it that way, which is the very first, you know, casino you can build, the gambling house. I built one at the bottom edge of the city there and one sort of up towards the top. And both of those things very, very consistently were pumping out 40 some odd K a day, you know, once they got cooking, which is awesome, you know. And here I'm taking a look at my medical stuff. Obviously, I'm having a lot of deaths per day, so I went ahead and plant yet another medical facility and beef it up a little bit just to help people, you know, survive. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, you're going kind of crazy on the services, but I mean, you have the RCI to support that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm putting down a lot of stuff, and you know, if you start running medical centers like this, yes, could I just put down a hospital, you know, and do better? Probably. I don't know, but I think the main point is because I was having so much trouble with the traffic, having the service buildings located in different parts of the city, you know, worked to my advantage.
Yeah.
You know, it gives people multiple places to drive to. It gives multiple places for ambulances to go out from. And it worked out better, you know, for me in that way, I thought. So, and of course, you know, make a couple more, you know, ambulances here. So we'll throw some more at you just because. And because that helps me too. You know, it gets those transactions every month. You make $100 to $300 whenever something goes down. So, and then again, obviously just keeping a look on the crime. It has gone down. You'll notice it's not red anymore, which is good. It's still yellow. It's not beautiful, but you know, if I was going to stick with this city, I'd probably replace that little dinky police station I put down over there with another full-fledged precinct.
Yeah.
And go that route with it. But ultimately, I just decided to kind of let it rock, and see if I could play it out with just a PlayStation for right now. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to point out as far as the casinos go, and I think you'll back me up on this too, man, because I know you played these. The Sleek Casino is where it's at.
Yeah, that is your money printer.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, that thing is just bananas. Here I'm checking out the workforce again because people are complaining about workers, and you got that. I got 15,000 workers, and I have 172,000 people living in my city. Which,
you have 36,000 unfilled jobs.
Yeah, so I got a lot of quote professional gamblers roaming the streets, in my city. But what are you gonna do? So that's that fudged population thing that we've covered before, and that I think is a major issue. But that's neither here nor there. But anyway, yeah, the Sleek Casino. If you put that sucker to use, I think we'll see at the end of the video here. It's making about 140K a day. And that's amazing. That's a really, really, really nice, consistent payoff. And I love the thing, and it never really disappointed me. The Sci-Fi Casino tends to go up and down. It'll have a good day. It'll have a bad day. The gambling houses are consistent, but kind of lower end. The Elegant Casino is, again, just a rat's nest in there. You have no idea what you're going to get when you look in there. It's just crazy. So go with the Gambling HQs and the Sleek Casino. If you ask me, those are the most consistent profit makers, for a city like this. And at least they worked well for me. Check that out. Yeah, look at that. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, really, really, really nice, consistent money, and I just can't say enough about that thing. So take a look at it. But I think, guys, as we were saying, this is probably going to be our last video in this Let's Play. And to be perfectly honest, unless some other stuff comes out that's sort of a game changer where we really feel we can add something to the community by covering it, in more videos, we're probably going to take a little bit of a break from SimCity. Just because I think Vendetta and I agree that, doing too much more along these lines is repetitive, and we don't want to keep rehashing the same stuff over and over and over and over and over again for you guys. I think there's plenty of material available for the game right now in its current state. So what does that mean for us? What are we going to be doing?
Risk of Rain.
Yeah, we're going to give Risk of Rain a try, right? So that's, for those of you guys who don't know, Risk of Rain is an indie game. It's in beta right now, and it'll be out here shortly, actually. And we're running through that. We're going to make a couple of videos on that for sure, probably starting this weekend, and give you guys some co-op gameplay of that. And we'll put a link in the description down here so you guys can go check that out. It's being produced by Chucklefish, who's the developer for Starbound, who we're big fans of. So we're going to give that a look, and obviously maybe do some more coverage videos as far as news, about the Terraria 1.2 update, which we also still very much intend to play. Currently looking at around July or so for that, I think is the latest word they've said on that. Is that right? You remember?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to definitely look at that and use that as the definite filler before Starbound comes out. So be looking for that, guys. And by all means, if you guys have some other suggestions or requests of stuff that you would like us to cover, as we branch out a little bit from the core game that got the channel started here, then please let us know. Drop us a line on here, hit up our Twitter at TFGoose Gaming. Let us know what you think and what you're thirsty for, because we want to keep producing content and keep the stuff fresh here. We don't want to just go on hiatus here for a month while we wait for Terraria. You know what I mean? So let us know, guys, and we'll see if we can keep things going. That's all.
Yeah, we're still going to continue to produce videos.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we want to keep it going and keep it fresh, though. That's the idea. And again, if you see this stuff, forever, and then eventually there's just not much left to say, and we don't want that. So, definitely check out the videos up there at the top, guys, in case you missed a couple things. Link back to the beginning of this series, and we'll throw another one up there for you. Again, check out Risk of Rain. And be on the lookout for more coverage. Let us know what you guys want to see. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us for all of this SimCity coverage for the last couple of months. It's been fun. And we've got a lot more to come. So stick around.